Okay, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. First item on the agenda tonight was the KSBA training session for financing. It's a 2-hour training session. And, since we have a crowd with us, I think it'd be better. What I'd like to do is move below that and adjust the agenda to address some of these other issues. I'd like to do that within 30 minutes if we can, because once we complete that, we've still got another 2 hours to go. So, if that moves pretty good, then we'll continue that. If we can't get through it, then we could just jump in and do the training and come back and finish up. So, but we'll start with the first item, discussion and possible action on salary schedules for bus drivers. I think you have a schedule in front of you.
Hey, where is that at?
It's in the blue packet.
Oh.
It's a comparison of current rates for drivers versus new rates.
And this is the, well, we're talking about the 2 salary schedules. Is that correct?
Yes.
The list, yes.
Okay.
The list identifies those employees on the new schedule and the cost.
Okay, I just need to ask one. At our last meeting, Mr. Meadows, you said that you saw nothing wrong with having 2 salary schedules. Is that correct?
I think it's not preferable. We need to merge them at some point.
Well, I'm talking about, though, but there was nothing. What did you base your belief on? On some type of, I mean, was there some kind of...
Can you have 2 salary schedules? Sure, you can have 10 if you want.
No, I'm talking about for the same position. I'm not talking about...
Right. You can have 2 salary schedules on the same
for the
position.
same position.
Yes.
Okay, just, okay, Mr. Chairman, if I may, can I talk? Are you familiar, are any of y'all familiar with the Equal Pay Act? Okay, the Equal Pay Act, federal law, actually it's been in since 1963, there's been revisions up through the years. The Equal Pay Act is basically, if you look at it, you're going to say, hey, no, this has nothing to do with having 2 separate salary schedules. And just looking at it from first glance, it may give that appearance. What it does, it basically says that you have women, minorities. I mean, it protects guys like me. I'm white. I'm in great shape. But it protects women, minorities, say African American, Hispanics, and, groups like that. That if if an employer hires a group of people in a set job, and the statute even says jobs that are similar. In this case, these are identical. That you cannot pay women, minorities less than what you would pay, say, another group. You can't do that. It's my belief that whenever this other salary schedule was adopted, that the school district was in non-compliance with that act. And if you look at that act, it's pretty clear that you can't have 2 separate salary schedules for even jobs that are similar. Let's say that the school district decided, okay, we're going to have bus drivers, and then we're going to have student chauffeurs, and we're going to pay each group, a different pay scale. You can't do that, and so it'd be really, really doubly hard on us since we are a governmental agency and we do receive federal funds. That if someone were to challenge this, if someone were to take this to the EEOC, I'm 99.9% certain that we would be found in non-compliance. I don't want that. I want to fix it now so that it doesn't go to that rate. I mean, I don't want to be found you know, in violation.
Is that-
So my recommendation is that we go with the salary scale, the first salary scale that was adopted. And we don't have, it's illegal in my opinion, to have a second salary scale that pays the same group of work. I mean, the statute just says similar. In this case, it's identical. It's the same group. We can't pay bus drivers according to one salary and then get a salary schedule, and then 4 or 5 years later decide, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to cut their pay and we're going to adopt another salary schedule for the same group of people. What's going to happen at some point down the road is that you're going to have a woman, or you're going to have an African American, or you're going to have somebody that's going to complain and say, hey, these people are making more money than me. Now the law absolutely allows you to give increases based on years of service and things like that. All that's built within the law, you know, the component. But the foundational principle of the Equal Pay Act is that you cannot have one group of people, one group of employees, and pay this group more than another group, or pay this person more than another person. It's got to be uniform. It cannot be the way that it has been. It cannot be that way. Now, I've had some feelers out, and 102 school districts don't have dual salary schedules for the same position in these school districts. And I've got to wonder, there's got to be a reason why. And the reason why is it's illegal. I mean, we've done things before that's been illegal that, you know, the school board has. I'm saying, I won't say unknowingly, I just say they've done it. What are you basing your, I mean, can you name one school district that has 2 salary schedules for the same position? Same position. I mean, do you know of any school district that has the same, that has dual, that has two?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
You just said that 101 school districts?
102 school districts.
102, so there's 71 school districts that do.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I don't know which one, but
do you know of any one school district that has 2 separate salary schedules for the same position? Can you think of it?
are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Well, I don't know, but you said there's 72 that
No, just forget that. Do you know of any, you know, forget what I said,
I'd have to do some research.
Is there a school district that you know of that has 2 separate salary schedules for the same position?
I would have to research that. I just know that what you're referring to in the Civil Rights Act of discriminating against minority populations based on their ethnicity, based on their gender.
Have you looked at the act?
We can't have 2 salary schedules for instance, we don't have a salary schedule for bus drivers that are male and then another one for female. We don't have, and you can't do that. That would be against the law. But you can have 2 salary schedules for the same position if you're not discriminating on anyone.
You can't do that. No, you are discriminating just by having 2 separate salary schedules. I mean, that's the whole thing. You're paying one group of. Who are you
discriminating against?
Huh?
Who are you discriminating against?
You're discriminating against that group of employees.
I know I'm being drawn into this, but I guess if you're losing money in your business and you still need employees, would you continue to pay the salaries or would you reduce them?
The thing that you would do is that you would meet and you would do a reduction, or you would do something. You wouldn't keep 2 separate salary schedules. You wouldn't do that. Now, here's the thing about it. If the board wants to, if they want to table this issue further, all it takes is one bus driver in here filing a complaint to EEOC. then we're gonna really see how bad in shape we are, because if we've been in non-compliance for what, 4 years?
Gary, you going to make a motion?
I'll make a motion. Okay, the motion's gonna be that we do away with the ladder salary schedule, and that we go with the salary schedule that the older drivers work on. People like Rodney, I'm thinking older drivers, because I don't know who's here. I know Rodney and Glema, and okay, the older drivers, that all of them are paid the same wage. That we not have two separate salary schedules.
So that's the new rates for driver schedule that we're looking at, is that correct?
No, we're going with the first one.
The higher rate, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that all new drivers be paid under the old rate, the rate that was in place before the latest salary schedule was adopted.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify, that's the 1826 rate, which is an increase of $35,582.73 in cost. Is that correct?
Yeah, that'd be correct. I mean,
Okay, that's fine.
there's nothing else that we can do.
I'm just clarifying.
Yeah.
We have a motion and a second by Donetta. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is discussion and possible action on central office position, district assessment coordinator. I think that maybe due to time, we could table that for discussion at a later time, if the board's okay with that. Unless there's a motion to approve it. If not, we'll just table that issue. Next item, discussion and possible action on hiring an additional teacher at Warfield Elementary School, getting on Title I funds available.
So they can take them to few people here.
Any discussion from the board? If not, need a motion to approve.
I'll make one. I'll make a motion to approve that.
A motion to approve, need a second.
I'll second.
Motion second, all in favor, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, discussion and possible action on final reading of attendance policy. I think this was read in our prior regular board meeting. Is there any further discussion on that? Not, I need a motion to approve the attendance policy.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion second, all in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and possible action on final reading of KSBA policy updates. It's the same updates from the regular meeting that we reviewed. Any further discussion? If not, I need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Have a motion, need a second.
I'll say.
Motion is second. All in favor, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is acceptance of bid on roofing project at Martin County Middle School. So numbers on that.
Acceptance of the lowest bid. The low bid was $214,000.
Does it say which contract? That's the low bid, it's $215,000. For Martin County Middle School. There's no further discussion, I need a motion to approve. Have a motion, need a second.
I'll second.
Motion second, all in favor, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, motion carries. Next item is discussion and possible action on revised BG1 for the middle school roof replacement.
It's based on that bid.
That's on that bid. I need a motion to approve the BG1 for the middle school roof.
I'll make the motion.
Have a motion, need a second.
I'll second.
Motion and second, all in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, motion carries. Next item is discussion on the personnel appliances in district-owned facilities in the buildings.
There's a guidance that was given to the principals in your packet. If you'll take a look. Mr. Ball, I need that back if you don't mind. That sheet that was passed down.
Oh, this?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Bid?
Yes.
So the personnel appliances, you want to run through that real quick as far as
If there's any questions or concerns about the
that was for summer only, is that correct?
directives that we're given, that's correct.
For summer only, that's not what I read.
Summer months only.
That's the news. Where, are you reading from the
No,
picture?
I just read something that was sent out.
That's the only guidance I've been given.
So this will be restored when school starts.
That's from me to the principals who sent it out to their staff at the end of the year. That's the exact memo.
Just read.
Okay, it's got Larry Jones' name.
We don't need an issue.
Well, it's facilities, that's who sent it to the principals.
Well, you didn't tell us that last meeting.
Well, it was my directive. Okay.
Well, yeah, but you didn't tell me, well, on that, it was just for the summer. Why didn't you tell me that?
Here's what's odd, is that as an added note, personal appliances may be allowed in our buildings at the beginning of the school year, only upon inspection by maintenance approval by the building administrator. We were led to believe that these were gone, they were
Yes, we were.
history.
As teachers, that's what we were led to That's what we were
Well-
told, we told we had until the 29th to get
That's
them
what-
out.
and that's what the board,
Or they would be locked up at Show Clark High
They're
School.
going to be stored there.
That's what I
They
read.
need to be removed, as the memo stated. You guys got the memos from your principals?
Yesterday.
Yes.
Yesterday.
These?
Yes. I
Well,
don't know.
No, this-
I got copies from the principals that were sent out to the teachers. So, I mean, they CC'd me, I don't know, but if anybody would like a copy of these, you're sure welcome to them. But this is the direction that went out to the principals, and the principals sent it out to the building. I don't know how it got miscommunicated, but
So we are allowed to have our appliances
Yes.
through the teaching months? Like when we get kids?
according to this memo, there's two things, if you weren't here in the last meeting, there was two things that was concerning. One is the electrical load on our electrical grids in our schools. They simply were not designed or constructed to handle the loads, the electrical loads that we have. And it's flipping breakers, it's tripping breakers. So that's a fire hazard for our faculty staff, for our buildings, for our students. You know, when somebody uses the microwaves and the lights go out or flicker, that's usually an indication that it's in your home or in schools. So on the safety of our kids, what we need to do is bring everything out for the summer anyhow, especially for cleaning. And when these things come back in, they need to be inspected. Of course, there's building codes about break cords or extension cords or multi-loading on one circuit. These have to be inspected, and I'll share with the board that we're contacting either the fire marshal or electrical consultant that come in and see what we have to do to update or upgrade our electrical support in our buildings. So, once again, this is the direction that went out. I don't know how the message got turned around.
They wanted to see what was on the.
I don't think that, I think everybody, even the board was led to believe that they were going to be removed permanently.
Yes.
Watch the video.
Didn't come
Go
from
to his
here.
website.
Well, we can look at the video. Was it your understanding?
Yeah.
That they were going to be removed, that they were history?
Well, they are being removed.
These teachers.
Well, that's what I was under the impression last meeting, because you didn't tell me it was just for the summer. You told me it was just, you had to remove it under your direction.
They were removed, yes, and then as they were coming back in, they are regulated by the building principals. That's a site-based decision.
Yeah, but their concern, I mean,
I don't know
was their
what
concern
the
wasn't
concern-
for the summer, it was for them having it for the school year.
That's my directive right there. I can't speak any more about it. That's the directive that was sent out. I think it clearly spells out, very simply.
So they will be allowed to.
Well, that's up to the principals in the school. They're site-based by statute.
And Donnell, I thank you for asking
Facility.
in the last meeting. I thank you for asking on behalf of these teachers the last meeting.
I've already got that one that said that I had to have mine
Well, how
on the
did,
29th.
you know, here's the thing about, how did a message like this get out to, okay, how many teachers are here? And how many teachers were under the impression that The appliance is gonna be removed, period. Everybody was.
That's what we were told. And they gave us until the 29th to get them out of the school completely, or they would be stored in Shelby Park High School.
Okay, that's the impression I got as a board, as I didn't know about this.
I was told to get mine out of the building.
So what we can say is apparently there's misinformation. Apparently we've solved it. Everybody is
I would say
fine,
misinformation.
which, you know, and then again, it's like, I think principals and teachers can sit down and site-based counsel and can resolve or, you know, this type of issue, I think, so, but.
Well, I would say that, you know, teachers, the only concerns I'd have, like, okay, with coffee pots. We've never had a child burned or anything like that, right? I mean, you're all
I don't even have,
all of y'all.
I don't even have a coffee
Okay.
pot.
But everybody who's adults, that, you know, they realize the problem of having a coffee pot around a small child and stuff like that. You know, I mean, that's the only concern I would have.
I don't think,
One of the things I talked to, I really got
I don't think
clobbered.
any of us at INS elementary had a coffee pot in our place. At the
They're in the
elementary.
family resource.
They're in the family resource center, the coffee
Well,
pots.
you know, there was a teacher that I saw at Warfield Elementary that, you know, told me, said, look, these, you know, in particular the refrigerators.
Yes,
And what they do, they have those in there for snacks.
yes.
They have them in there for drinks.
Yes.
And a lot of times for kids that maybe may not have, you know, money for snacks and things like that they do that. And I think that's a very, very good thing. You know, another thing is you have kids there that, you know, maybe Kathleen knows about this, maybe per doctor's orders, would be required to, you know, drink a little bit more water and stuff like that. And, you know, as
Orange
much,
juice.
yeah, and as many times as the water goes off here in this county, then they need bottled water. I mean, you know, our water was off last week down in Warfield area. So, you know, I see nothing wrong with having refrigerators and things like that.
Well, just like I said, the only concern is like the coffee pots and just be safe with what you have. And I would like to suggest, and I know we're in a crunch, but if there's any way that's for us, you know, you can save energy, we're all into that. If you can do that, we'd sure appreciate it.
Well, the problem is, Mr. Harless, is that when we leave our rooms, you can't turn the computers off because we get a grant.
Okay.
So you've got all computers, all iMac computers are turned on,
They're all
and laptops.
All I'm saying is, if there's any way you can, because my wife's always saying, turn off the light,
We know, there's 798 Macs in this district.
How much, Mr. Meadows, does that run the school for
Well,
electricity?
Terry Salyer's our energy guy, he's doing an analysis on that.
On that too?
Because here's the reason is that we pay about $100 for each one of those systems, which is a great deal.
Okay.
But we also need to know how much we're paying in the electrical levies. But as I shared with the board, before these things are brought back into the buildings, I mean, it's not especially at Warfield. I mean, because they've got a building that's constructed where it doesn't handle these loads. Before we start plugging in a lot of microwaves, our copiers take a tremendous amount. I know no one in here wants to have people in our buildings that the breakers are tripping on. Who wants that? So we've got to be careful how much we put into this building, particularly in Warfield, until we can get somebody, hopefully we can get somebody out there before school starts. But please be patient with the board and the district until we can make sure that the building is safe before we start overloading these circuits to where breakers are tripping. Is
Are we
it
gonna
safe
get the
in
air
your
conditioner
house?
fixed before school starts, do you think?
As
at the middle
shared,
school?
as I stated, we're going to try to get that for Warfield before school starts.
No, I meant the air conditioner.
Sunny is, which,
On that?
yeah, Sunny's working on it.
It's really hot in there today, I've seen.
Well, the whole thing about this, you know, that,
So is that okay?
So you're
So
saying
what
we're
you're
out,
saying is that
once
when
they're
I
checked,
start
we can
school
bring it
back,
back in?
That's up to your principal. When you
So
bring
it's
it in,
totally
he
up to
needs
the principal.
Well, the principal's site-based, but the principal's a measure for to ensure that the safety and welfare of the occupants of that building are safe. It doesn't matter what kind of policy or statute really is. If the principal feels that there's a danger to our kids or the occupants of that building facility, and breakers tripping, then somebody better do something. Somebody needs to do something.
so how many breakers, does anybody here know any problem with
we've never had
breakers?
problem, we've never had problem with INS elementary that I know of.
There may not be, but I like that point because we have, again, we have almost 800 Macs in the building, And these buildings were not constructed with the technology in mind, the load.
We can unplug and turn all the lights off you want to, as long as them
They're
eight
still
computers in
running.
my room are still on.
Yeah,
It defeats the purpose.
and they put out a tremendous amount of heat. Just the appliances alone, cost $27,000 a year. Coffee pots, microwave, there's 4 of them. Coffee pots, refrigerators, space heaters, and the microwaves. When something is plugged in, you plug in a microwave, refrigerator, any of these things, just because it's off at the switch, there's still a load on the circuit.
Yeah, very minor load.
It's minor, but there's
It's
still a
very
load.
minor.
So when these things are on and plugged in, $27,000 a year is what our energy manager has given us the analysis. $27,000 a year that we're paying for that. We just, the board, or we have to balance the costs, and as Mr. Harles pointed out, we've got to be energy efficient, and certainly Mr. Ball is interested in the net zero. As we move further down the road, and we want a net zero energy efficient building, especially as we get new construction, certainly it's going to be built for a net zero, then it is hard to balance, you know, all of the appliances with trying to be at net zero. In fact, our architect will tell you that you can't do that. I've also shared with our architect on the energy point about the 800 max that we have. So it may be a facility at this new campus anyhow that is completely separate, like in a model lab, to where we can control the energy separate from the rest of the building. It'll be on its own circuit as much as we can for the new facility. But again, getting to the energy efficiency and it's certainly the net zero, it can't happen with how we're operating in our buildings now with those consumption. But the big thing is, and the answer to your question is, these items can come back in, but your principal must be aware of where they are. And what we want to do first, especially with Warfield, is to make sure that we have this building inspected. We can't have breakers tripping when somebody uses the copier or the microwave. So I think that's a good balance. Yes.
Does it need a big, larger breaker? Is that what
It
the copier?
It may.
Well, the thing about it is, the fact that a breaker is knocking says that there's no safety issue. I mean, when it gets a load on it, when it gets a load that exceeds what it's designed for, then it's going to knock. So,
When these schools are built, Mr. Ball, though, you're gonna think they didn't have computers back then when the buildings were built.
I'm sorry. What you're saying is when a breaker trips, there's no safety issue?
no, I'm saying when a breaker trips,
Sometimes the breakers have a safety issue.
no, when a breaker trips, that means that you've overloaded that circuit. That don't mean the house is going to burn down.
Right.
That means that you have overloaded that circuit. That's all it means. I mean, I've put breakers, I've installed breakers, I'm not a certified electrician, so I'm not qualified to say that. But I do know that having a breaker tripping is not a big deal. It just means that you've got too many things plugged into one circuit. That's all it means.
Yeah, and just one final thing is, like I said, the safety issue, and we all have been asked to tighten our belts, so if you can help us, I'd sure appreciate it. Pam, won't you get a pet lizard instead of all those fish?
Oh, I don't do fish either.
Well, did you have to move your aquarium or what?
No, I don't
Just
have
kidding,
fish.
Gary.
Okay, I didn't know.
It wasn't me. I'm intermediate. I'm not trying.
Well, don't think about it.
No, but I do have to say at Ivy Elementary,
Wait,
we
who's got the fish?
every year.
home for
Get a hermit crab.
And every year at the end of school, the last day of school, we have always been told to unplug our appliances. We don't leave them plugged up over the side.
I took my fish home.
Did you
He
have
doesn't stay
to take
close.
your fish tank out?
I had heard some rumors that some didn't know.
I took my fish home for the summer.
Get a lizard.
I didn't have a lizard.
Okay, I mean,
No, he's saying trade the fish and only leave them.
Well, were you told that you couldn't have your...
No, you'd have to keep the lizard warm. You'd have to have.
He laughed. That's right, Mr.
I'm
Harlan.
sorry.
I took my fish home.
I didn't do well at all.
Anyway.
We love you, Mr. Harlan.
The fish tank, did you have to take it home?
Okay.
She's fine, we're fine. We're
I don't
fine. We're
think
fine, right?
Okay.
I just didn't want to let, he
Yeah, it's cleared up,
died.
we can keep our appliances as
Let's move
long
on.
as school's in session.
As long as I didn't say we can keep our appliances, as long as the building,
Is that what you're saying?
principal says okay, based on the safety issue.
Let's go, let's move on.
Next item on the agenda is KSBA training for finances. This will be about a 2-hour session, so you're welcome to sit and listen in.
Can I ask a question before you go into your finances? And this is camp?
Because it's special.
Okay. I'll take it till the next time.
Absolutely.
True?